Should I swing the block on my ex, or should I allow my ex to swing the block on me? Today we're going to be doing a tarot card reading about love, relationships, intimacy, specifically about exes, past lovers, past situationships resurfacing at this time. I've been doing a lot of card readings for the past 3 days, and that is the most asked question. What about my ex? Have they moved on? Should I move on? Should I forgive them? Should I reach out? All sorts of questions pertaining to past situations and past relationships. So today we're going to be doing a card reading specifically for exes, past lovers, past situationships. Now, just before we get into it, we're going to touch on some astrology. We're going to see how the different astrological placements and alignments and aspects are going to be influencing our love life, specifically about past lovers. In astrology, when it comes to love, pleasure, desire, our cravings, and how we feel fulfilled, we need to look at Venus. And today is Friday. Venus rules Friday. Friday is correlated to Venus. Again, the planet of love, beauty, harmony, pleasure. The Friday energy is a time for us to connect romantically, platonically, or even spiritually. And so Friday has this sort of energy signature of sensuality and creative expression. This makes Friday a perfect time for nurturing friendships, relationships, exploring our desires, and even indulging. That's why a lot of people go out and drink and party and hang out and stuff on Friday, go on romantic dates and stuff on Friday just because of the energetic signature. So Friday gets its name from the Greek goddess or the Norse goddess Freya, which is associated with love, fertility, and nurturing. So again, Friday is a feminine day, and it gives us that extra emphasis which encourages balance, harmony, especially when it comes to our emotions. Why is this important? Why is this important? Because today might be the day like that the person swings the block on you. Venus influences Friday and offers moments of realignment with what truly matters to the heart. And so whether you're contemplating returning to a past love, contemplating reaching out, forgiving them, or asking for forgiveness, Friday is a good day for introspection, compassion, and clarity. Now let's tap into some more astrological placements and alignments that are going to be affecting us right now when it comes to our ex swinging the block, you know what I'm saying, or us wanting to swing the block on a past situation. We have the moon in Gemini. Shout out to all the Geminis, and I'm saying flunked out Geminis. And so this fuels our desire for mental stimulation and conversation. You're likely to feel talkative, curious, and drawn to exploring emotions through dialogue or even journaling. And so this placement enhances our ability to communicate clearly with our ex or a past lover. Also occupying the Gemini space, we have Jupiter in retrograde. Now Jupiter deals with the wisdom and knowledge that we extrapolate from all of the experiences that we have. And with it being in retrograde, RE energy, it asks us to reevaluate, reassess, rethink, revisit past situations, people, places, and things. And they're likely to resurface because everybody is feeling this influence. Now, it's going to be affecting us all in different ways because we all have different natal makeups, but we all are going to be experiencing this retrograde energy. Jupiter has been in retrograde since October 2024, but it's going to go direct soon in February, I think around February 4th. This is a placement that I am welcoming. But again, Jupiter conjuncting the moon in Gemini means that our mood during this transit is going to be predicated on the knowledge and experiences that we gain from past experiences. Now, if we put this into the lens of relationships, god damn, that's why your ex is popping up. The next placement I want to look at is Venus in Pisces. Now, this Pisces space is going to be major in 2025 for the Pisces and for the Aries, just because of the different stelliums that are going to be happening. And so in this Pisces space, we have Venus, we have Saturn, we have Neptune. But first, let's talk about Venus. Now, Venus, again, is the planet of love, beauty, harmony, desire. And when it's in the Pisces space, Pisces taps us into spirituality, so unconditional love, compassion, and just dreamy romantic ideals. And so this placement amplifies our intuition and encourages us to use the spiritual side of relationships. When Venus is here, we are more likely to romanticize the past connections. So be mindful not to confuse fantasy for reality. This energy can foster healing, so you might want to give the person a second chance, but it also may tempt you to overlook red flags, so be careful. Venus also squares Jupiter. Now, we just spoke about Jupiter being in retrograde in Gemini, encouraging us to reevaluate, reassess, rethink, revisit past situations, people, places, things, circumstances, and situation, with the goal of using the knowledge that we extrapolate to make better decisions. But Venus is squaring, and this this is a challenging aspect because this could lead us to be excessive when it comes to love and pleasures and relationships, and it creates this sort of push and pull dynamic where we are going to be longing or seeking for pleasure, but also want to maintain certain boundaries based on the experiences that we had. And this could result in, overindulgence in some way, shape, or form, or just allude to unrealistic expectations. Let's slide down to another placement that is a bit tricky when it comes to love, relationships, especially exes. All right, let's tap into the Saturn-Neptune side of Pisces, because again, it's a stellium, major conjunction with these planets, and Saturn demands structure in emotions and spiritual matters. It encourages us to set boundaries, learning from karmic lessons in relationships, guys. Keep that in mind. And so when past lovers reappear, this could signify unfinished karmic cycles, and this is an opportunity to create closure through solidified connections based on mutual growth. And so whether we are going to agree to disagree, or we're going to agree to come together to finish whatever we think we are supposed to be doing in this lifetime based on whatever woke ideology y'all subscribe to, it's all bullshit, by the way. But anyway, Saturn in Pisces basically is alluding to boundaries, and whether these boundaries are going to be strong or are they going to collapse under pressure. Now, Neptune in Pisces again amplifies dreams, intuition, and spiritual connection. It's a dissolver by nature, and so it's going to be trying to dissolve Saturn, and it could blur the lines and blur the boundaries and create illusions, especially when it comes to romantic matters. We already noted that Venus squaring Jupiter could, make us unrealistic and romanticize the past. And so Neptune is going to further emphasize us romanticizing the past and just thinking about the la la land fantasy that we could have. Last but not least, we have Mars in Cancer. Now, Mars in Cancer intensifies the emotions because Mars is quite intense, quite energetic, quite external, masculine, one of the most violent, aggressive, volatile, energetic forces. But with it being in Cancer retrograde, again, this retrograde is going to ask us to revisit Cancer, which is the motherly energy. So we're revisiting emotional wounds and unresolved conflicts within the relationship. And so Mars is going to intensify the emotions surrounding that space. And so this placement supports introspection about how the emotional needs were or weren't met by the person. And so we need to approach making whatever we decision with a certain level of calm, because Mars could make us mad, Mars could make us impulsive, and some people might want to get vindictive, and just be in a negative, toxic space. And better believe that all of your impulsive actions are going to backfire at this point in time. Y'all leave the juju and the magic alone, and let people live their life in peace or pieces. Yeah. All right, so let's get into the card reading for love, relationships, and intimacy. Should I swing the block on my ex, or should I allow my ex to swing the block on me? No, I'm not gonna answer that question, because sometimes it's good. Like, maybe y'all weren't in the best of spaces when y'all had the fallout, and there is planetary placements and alignments that allow and foster healing and forgiveness and compassion. But at the same time, when Jupiter goes direct on February 4th, then it's a wrap. Like, we're gonna be able to have more direct motions when it comes to experiences and being able to have new experiences. All right, so let's pull the cards. We're gonna do the first card. It's gonna be for the past. What's influencing your desire to reconnect or let them back in? All right, so let's see why you want to let the person back in. What happened in the past that wants you to let that person back in? All right, let's get a nice decent shuffle going. Why you want to let the person back in? Huh? Or why you want to go reconnect? Like, what was so good? What was so wow that you want to go back? You know what I'm saying? Like, let's see what was so crazy about it. Oh, the conversations, the mental stimulation, and just the idea that you guys could have some sort of close relationship. We got the Three of Pentacles. I'm gonna peer into the tarot book just to see what they typically say about the Three of Pentacles, but in my mind, three speaks towards creation, birth, experiences, being joyful and strength. And if it's pentacles, then that's earth like type qualities. So creating something stable, creating a union, having growth and stability with each other. And there was a lot of conversations about building up and building with each other, you feel me? Like, a whole lot of conversation, a whole lot of charm and charisma was exuded, but at the same time it was quite superficial and hedonistic in some way, shape, or form. Like, most of the relationship or most of the connection was based on pleasure seeking or attention seeking, or maybe the lack of attention, you know what I'm saying, that opened up the need or the want. So that's why you know what I'm saying, you're so connected about the person. Maybe you were a bit too materialistic and felt like that person, place, or thing could have helped you to build up, and you guys could have built up together, you know what I'm saying, and create something strong and expansive and everything being cool and nice, you know what I'm saying. But it didn't happen for some reason, you know what I'm saying. So that person is your ex now, that person is in the past. But let's see what is the current energy between you and that person, because it was false pretenses. Yeah. You thought you could have manifested with the person. You thought you could have built a home or a house with this person, you know what I'm saying, because three taps us into like close proximity. So building like some sort of closeness, maybe even moving out and living close to the person. Again, the three energy taps us into like close friends and local travel. So you thought you were gonna be close to the person, but nah, that wasn't the case. All right, so let's see what is the present energies. What's going on right now? Moon in Gemini. We got Sun in Capricorn. We got Venus over there, stellium with Pisces. What's going on right now? Jupiter doing this thing in Gemini retrograde. What else we got? We got Mars retrograde in Cancer, you know what I'm saying? So how are we feeling right now when it comes to the X? Judgment, Bumbleclad, you know what I'm saying? So when it comes to the judgment, this is just using your absolute logic. You understand me? Like, you got to make a decision and make an absolute decision. We're going to peer into the tarot book to see how they interpret judgment. But in my mind, like, what happens when you have your day in court? They make a final absolute decision. Like, are you innocent or are you guilty? Are you gonna go to jail or you're not gonna go to jail? Yes, we could get into the details of, whatever the punishment is, but there is some sort of responsibility that needs to be taken on a reckoning day. And so the judgment speaks to rebirth, renewal, but you got to take responsibility for your actions. And I don't want to say suffer the consequences, but you sow what you reap, and there's a effect that what it was there's a reaction for every action. And so when karma comes around and you got to deal with the judgment, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think right now we're making our judgment, our final assessment of the relationship and situationship. And yeah, all of the alignments that we spoke on earlier suggested that we need to be realistic and don't romanticize what happened. Like, if the person is messed up, they messed up. You know what I'm saying? And it is what it is. Let's pull one more card to see what is the likely outcome if you take action or if you wait. You understand me? So, should you take action? Should you wait? What's gonna be the outcome of taking action? Let's just, let's pre that. Okay, so we're not going to be romanticizing the past. We know that, you thought you could have built up and created something stable with this person, but it didn't happen for some reason. Why it didn't happen, like, be realistic about it. Okay, don't romanticize it. And let's see what's gonna happen if you take action, if you wait. What should we do? Like, what's the outcome? What's the outcome? We got some fallouts, but the fallout is face down. So there's a potential for like some argument or some falling out, or just like more tensions. We got the Mars there that could make us a bit aggressive. So be careful, because we're leading up to the full moon. So you don't want anybody to ruffle your feathers too much. And the full moon is gonna be starting in Cancer, late degrees. And so when you're enjoying, your home and your heart space, like, no. So let's see what's gonna happen. Should we take action now, or should we wait? Like, what's going on? What's going down? All right, let me do a cut. I'm feeling flustered, so let's get a nice little cut here. Two more pumps for the 2-time. Let's see. 3 of Swords. Now, I don't just want to go from the symbolism. I don't just want to go from the symbolism, like the hearts, and there's like swords Xing out the hearts and, stabbing the hearts. But again, 3 taps us into that space of, or the energetic frequency of being social, communicative. We want to be happy. We want to be joyful. We want to experience growth and expansion. And the swords is air. So that's our logic, our thought process, our mental agility, also clarity. So 3, again, we want to grow. We want to connect. We want to be strong. We want to create something. We want to create. We want to be creative. And 3 of Swords, I don't know, but this kind of looks like heartbreak, sorrow, and emotional pain, traditionally in the Tower cards. So let's look at all the 3 cards together. In the past, you thought you were gonna build up, but it didn't happen. You got to make an absolute decision. Take responsibility. Don't romanticize the past. And then 3 of Swords traditionally speaks of heartbreak, sorrow, and emotional pain. In my purview, 3 Swords, you want to have you want to expand. Yeah, we want to expand. That's the first thing. We want to grow. We want to move. We want to move on emotionally, but we have to use our logic to overcome, the emotions. You see how the logic, the swords, is like stabbing into the heart, piercing the heart, so you got to use your logic to subdue your emotions. All right, so again, don't romanticize the past and use your logic to subdue the emotions. Now, classically, again, this speaks towards heartbreak and 808s. Shout out to Kanye. Shout out to Kanye. But do what you may with the cards. Like, do you think this says to go back with your ex? Do you think these cards say to swing the block or allow them to swing the block? you you decipher that for yourself. All right, we're gonna pull one more card, and this is going to focus on the best outcome. All right, we're gonna focus on the best outcome. What should you focus on for the best outcome? What should you have your mind on? We know that the sun is in Capricorn, and so that taps us into being hardworking and determined and persistent with our pursuits. Now, do you want to pursue an ex? Or should you be focusing elsewhere during this time? All right, so let's pull a card and see what the vibe is. You know what I'm saying? What should we be focusing on? Because we got some heartbreak, sorrow, and pain over here. So what should we be focused on? Should we be focusing on the heartbreak, sorrow, and pain? Or should we be focusing elsewhere? Where should we be focusing on? I think innately we all know what we should be focusing on at this point in time. We had a little follow with the Ace of Swords, so this is focusing on yourself. But that was a little follow. That's a given, like that's a given. But let's get greater insight as to focusing on ourselves. Alright, here we go. Page of Pentacles. Again, this kind of looks like Capricorn energy to me, even with the green. Pentacles is earth. Page would be like a young, ambitious person, not really the knight, kind of curious, kind of in that stage of starting the hero's journey. We know that we start at the Fool, but again, like, we just kind of need to be focusing on building up. Let's go to the Page of Pentacles, and it says practical, ambitious, and slow, steady. No, not slow, steady progress. A message about finances. Sorry, a message about finances. So that kind of came to my mind, like when I said the Capricorn energy with the green, you know what I'm saying, with the pentacles. So just kind of like building up your money, building up your bread. You feel me? So yes, the past situation or past lover is coming back. But I think with this situation, like, it was superficial. And you thought you could have built up, you thought you could have, come up off of this person in some way, shape, or form, whether it's creating something, giving birth to something, just being joyful, being strong with a person or growing. But apparently it was on the opposite or the negative side of the Three Pentacles, which would be pleasure seeking, immaturity, delusions, lack of discipline and accountability. You know what I'm saying? And as we move forward, you got to make the judgment to accept the heartbreaking 808s. You feel me? Focus on yourself and build up financially. Feel me? All right, so that's the card reading for today, today, January 10th. For today, Friday, January 10th, if you're interested in getting a card reading for yourself, send me a DM or email at kevisbmajor@gmail.com. Major farewell until we meet or greet again. I'm astrologer Kevis Major, doing it major.